Sparrows have been really chirpy. They've not long gone back actually. They're in that hedge just there. They're chattering away and it's such a lovely sound. Hello and welcome back to the Wild Gardener channel. I have not been on here for an entire year. That is so long, and I promised myself I was going to do updated videos. But it is such a lot of work to do vlogs. Yeah, and life has just been absolutely chaotic with the kids and everything that's going on. But things have quietened down a little bit now, and I'm going to try my very best to do regular updates. I'm not promising any particular days and times. But yeah, I thought I would share how we have been getting on, and I've got my first Christmas mug. I know some people really hate that, don't they? I like it. Anyway, I have got my first Christmas mug out, which I'm really excited about. We've finally got the coffee machine back out, the proper fancy coffee machine. I went to TK Maxx today and got my coffee syrups. The Christmas tree will be going up at the end of November. It's very exciting. Anyway, so I am in my shed. So this is a project of love. It's not anything I'm going to rush. It's sort of, what would you call it? It's like a she shed slash craft shed slash reading shed slash kids hanging out shed. It's not really anything in particular, it's just my little space. And I will show you around in a minute. As you can see, I have started painting it this lovely dark purple colour. So the whole vibe for in here is like 90s celestial. I have little gold stars on the ceiling. My partner's going to put electric in so I can have a little log fire. So in the winter I can sit and listen to the birds and read my book and it'd be nice and cozy. But yes, that is the plan for the shed, but that's neither here nor there. That's not really anything I'm kind of doing at the moment. I just do bits and pieces. So anyway, I thought I would tell you how we have been getting on with the garden. So in order to see how much we've actually done, I think you need to go back and watch my previous two videos. One of them is called, I think, To Weed Kill or Not to Weed Kill, because I was getting a bit drastic. So in that video, and the one before, I did like a little guided tour, and I watched this video, I think it was yesterday, and oh, the birds have just very suddenly stopped. What's going on? I wonder if the neighbour's cat's in the bush. Anyway, I thought, so I watched this video, and in my mind, I thought, oh, we haven't really done an awful lot in the garden. It's looking awful. It's November, everything's died back, blah, blah, blah. But I looked at this video and I thought, oh my God, we've actually done so much. Bearing in mind, my youngest son has complex needs, so he needs a lot of my time, and my partner has 3 young children. So yes, we are very busy. I also have recently developed 3 slip discs in my back, so I can't do any of the lifting, so I rely on Kirk, who's only really free on a Sunday, to do lots of the manual work. So I'm sort of chopping away little bits and pieces here and there. But anyway, looking at this video, I thought, oh my God, we've actually done so much, considering we're doing it around our busy lives and we are doing it all ourselves. We don't get any outside help in, and we are doing it on a very tight budget. So everything that we do is either recycled, repurposed, given it to us for free. You know, we're trying to do everything as cheap as possible, basically, but have it long lasting. So yeah, we have done quite a lot. So I'm going to show you in a minute. Now, it might look a bit of a mess to you guys if you haven't seen the previous video and how overgrown the garden was. Bearing in mind, this garden is huge. It's enormous. And it's, you know, it's a lot of work. So yeah, so we've redone the pond. We made it bigger. And added more plants and things. We did a beautiful sensory garden bed, which was absolutely stunning in the summer. I mean, it doesn't look like that now, but it was beautiful in the summer. We got rid of the greenhouse, we put the rose garden in, we've done a couple of paths, patio's done, and we've just recently started on what will be the kids area. So I am going to go out and show you what we've been up to. So let's talk about this area. So this area is right by the pond, which I'm going to show you in a minute. So this is the shed that I was just in, and the children's area is down here. So what I've done here is I have put 2 raised beds on either side and an archway going over the top. I have got onions and garlic in here, and then the idea is in summer I'm going to plant my pumpkins over the archway. Obviously little ones, not big ones. Now my shed is just here with all of our bug houses on, which were absolutely thriving with bees over the summer. This area underneath me is gravelled and it's lovely. What we had in the summer here was my egg chair, and I would sit here by the pond and read my book and watch the bees coming out in the little bee houses. What we've actually decided to do going forward is to turn the shed round so that the door is facing this way, because I can see out onto the pond. I can see the flowers and the plants growing over the archway. I'm going to put some sweet peas around here. And it's just going to be such a lovely little effect to have the door thrown open in the summer on the shed. I can read my book in the shade, and I've got this lovely view of the sensory garden and the pond. So this area, we gravelled it, and it cost us about £75 to do this area of gravel. We had some edging stones, which you can see here, which we actually got for free. We had a lot of those in the garden anyway, so we've used those just to edge it around. And then we just put the gravel down. We just used the cheap pea shingle stuff, which actually looks really nice. It's a bit of a addiction if you have a stone collection addiction. I mean, it's terrible. I'm always scobbling around going, oh, that's a pretty stone. But anyway, yeah, so it was a nice budget-friendly way of making a nice little area. And as you can see, I've still got some foxgloves and some nasturtiums growing. I've never seen foxgloves sprout this late. Who knew they grew so late in the year? I thought there was a spring thing. And just behind me here is a beautiful ivy bush, which flowers all the way through the winter. And one thing I have learned is not to cut ivy back in the winter, because it's the primary source for bees and insects that are out that time of the year. So we are going to keep that for now, and then we will just tidy it up in the spring when sort of the bugs and things start coming back out. So yeah, this is our sort of sitting area, if you like. I don't really know what you would call this, but yeah, so that's the start of our vegetable garden. So we are at the pond now, and it's looking a bit worse for wear now, just because it's that time of year where it all dies back. So what we did with this area was we made it slightly wider, and we dug a little bit further down. We've also put some pond plants in, which we've had a few years, and they now need repotting. As you can see, they're not in the right size pots and they've overgrown, so I'm literally just waiting for them to die back. We have got here some old roof tiles, which again we got for free, and we kind of stack them on top of each other to make like a little frog kind of hidey ho. Yeah, and they absolutely love it. I have been cutting back a willow tree here, so you can see this is all here ready to go to the dump, so that's not normally there. We have got a few little plastic balls in the pond just to stop any ice from freezing over. And I tell you what, in the spring especially, it's absolutely humming with frogs and newts. You can sit on the anchor chair here behind me, and just listen to them like croaking away. It's beautiful. Now we have got some watercress in the bottom as well. I got that watercress on the salad bar at Morrison's. I read it online and I put it in the pond and it has gone wild. But it's beautiful and it makes such a lovely like coverage area for the animals and stuff. So obviously we've got the wood here which we've had years and it's starting to get a bit old now. I think it needs replacing. But you can see the lovely moss and the mushrooms and the dragonflies lay all their eggs in it. It's beautiful. Yeah, the only thing I would say about the pond to do with the watercress is don't take it out and dump it on the ground thinking it will die off, because it will just take root. It goes absolutely mental. So yeah, apart from obviously redoing the edging, the pond is pretty much kind of left to itself. We don't do an awful lot with it. We did have some stickleback in there. We think they may have died. But yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. These flowers come out all purple. We've got some blue forget-me-nots in there which come out. But we are still very much learning about ponds. We're still quite new to ponds, so we're kind of learning as we go along and changing it as we need to. But it's definitely one of the best things we've ever put in this garden. So this is the area that is going to be our new vegetable bed. I did originally say that I wasn't going to go back to vegetable gardening, but this year I realised how much I miss my allotment and I love growing my own food. So we are going to make this entire section some raised planters. The trampoline's going further down for the children. So we're going to completely redo this entire area. It is a big area, but actually it's quite a simple job of membrane in it, cardboard or whatever, and then putting the beds on top. This area is not going to be wheelchair accessible to Ben, just because it's just not the sort of ideal ground for him. However, where I am standing now is the long path that goes down, which I will give you a proper view of the garden in a minute. So this is all going to be wheelchair accessible to Ben. So as he goes down into the play area, he can go past the vegetable beds, you know, have some strawberries or whatever, and then he can go past the pond and the sensory garden. So he will get to experience the vegetable garden. Ben isn't so keen on actually planting things. He just likes to sit in the garden. So I don't think he's really that bothered about that bit. But anyway, we've got this entire area, which is going to be full of veg beds, and we estimate that we can probably get about 12 in here, quite big ones, which is plenty for us. I don't want to give ourselves too much work. It's mainly me doing the gardening anyway, apart from heavy jobs. So yes, that is one of the jobs that we hope to have in time for March. So I am just stood at the edge of the patio now to give you sort of a visual of where I've been standing during the video. So this is the sensory bed, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, and then we've got the shed and the pond and what will be the vegetable garden here. Now, talking about the path, so it's a bit of a mess right now. Just some things I've been cutting back, and we've got some membrane down there. I mean, it's all over the place. So this, what we are going to do with this is we are just going to slab it. Now, we were going to gravel it, and then we thought, okay, wheelchairs don't go over gravel, that's not going to be good. Then we thought about concrete, and that doesn't look too pretty. So what we're going to do is we are going to get some of those slabs, break them into pieces, and kind of make a mosaic concrete slab path. And then we are going to paint the slabs, the little bit of slabs, with masonry paint just to add some colourfulness to it. And the idea is that we can get that fairly cheap, because most people give away slabs like these here. Just break them into pieces, lay them down with the sand, cement in between. It's a pretty cheap and cheerful job. Now, we are going to have to widen this path a little bit. It is wider than it looks because it's got a lot of grass. So we need to widen it a little bit more, just so Ben's wheelchair to go down. But that is our next well, I say next project, the next project is getting rid of this, but the path is then next on the list. So I am now in what we call the sensory garden. This has been a labour of love, and it's my favourite part of the garden. So as you can see, it's quite big, and it starts at the pond and then goes all the way up to the patio area. Obviously it's dying back now, but I'm going to insert some pictures of what it looked like in the summer, and it was absolutely beautiful. So this was a couple of really old monkey raised beds. There was a lavatera bush which was just growing everywhere, so got rid of all of that. All we did was the no dig method. We laid loads of cardboard down, watered it, and then composted on top, and it's done pretty well. Now, we did have a lot of bindweed growing, and I talked about in a previous video, I was just so fed up with the bindweed that I just wanted to weed kill the lot. Persevered, and all we did is every week we would go around and pick and pick and pick and mulch and mulch and mulch, and touch wood, it seems to be working on this side of the garden, and towards the end of summer we hardly had any bindweed coming through. And to be honest, I think that's the only thing that we can do without going drastic and killing everything off, which we don't want to do. So we do have a lovely apple tree here, which hasn't fruited yet. It's been in, I think this might be its third year that it's been in. We've got some lovely dahlias, the verbena. We've got loads and loads of stuff, the little cornflowers. Oh, I can't remember the name of these, but they're like a yellow, they almost look a little bit like Rebecca, but they're not Rebecca. We've got some salvias. We have got foxgloves, nigella. What else have we got in there? Oh, we've got loads of stuff. So what I did was I bought mainly perennial plants for this. So what I would normally do is in the autumn winter time, I'd go around the garden centres. I would buy their reduced perennial plants, which they tend to reduce them very cheaply because they're dying off. Well, actually, they're not dying off, they've just died back. I would then plant them in the autumn. They'd come up beautiful in the spring and summer. And then what I've done in between is I've simply scattered wild flowers, native wildflowers, sort of in between them. So it's not a very rigid kind of planting layout. It's very much a mishmash of everything, which is the type of gardening that I like. But it looks absolutely beautiful. We've got the bird table there for the water with a little stick in for the bees. We've got the bird feeders, some wind chimes. So as Ben will come along here, he'll be able to experience the wind chimes and see all the variety of the flowers and smell the flowers. I mean, the dahlia doesn't smell, but it's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, so that is where we have got with this bit. Now, this part of the garden is what I've named the rose garden. So originally we had a greenhouse here, which I don't know how it stood up that many years. It was literally held up with duct tape. The door didn't shut. There was a window missing, and it was made from really flimsy plastic. It was awful. Anyway, the only thing I grew in there was tomatoes. Now, I'm not a massive fan of tomatoes. I don't know why I grow them. I think I just get the itch in January to start sowing things. And nobody else in our house really eats tomatoes. So I thought, do you know what, let's just get rid of it because it's just a waste of space. It's taking up loads of room and it's just generally rubbish. So we ripped that out. It literally took about an hour to get rid of it. It was that bad. So it's given us now this beautiful space along here, which is right the way up to here, and up to the fence here, and then along here. So in here, I've got quite a few roses. I've got some forsythia, some hellebores, some anemones, and I've got a couple of dahlias here, which are still going, and some roses, which have started coming back out again. I've also got a trailing rose, which is going up the archway, and a clematis on the other end. This wooden fence here we've had it a couple of years, and it's I can't remember the type of wood, but it's, I think I just googled a natural wood fence, and it looks really rustic. It looks like you've just stuck sticks in the ground, and it looks really nice. And it's got lots of fairy lights on. We've got fairy lights up the obelisk and kind of little got some mirrors which we've got to hang up, and we've interplanted with honesty. There's some alpine strawberries, lavender. This is a very new bed, so I haven't seen it in full bloom yet, so I'm hoping it will come out lovely in the summer. And the idea is to paint the inside of the fence in a nice purple colour. Now, the reason I chose purple is because I use the colour wheel theory for a lot of my decor. The colour wheel theory is basically picking colours that are opposite to your base colour. So the base colour in our garden is obviously green, and the complementary opposite colour to that is a purple, and it just kind of makes the green pop, and then all like the orange flowers and things, it will really sort of show it off. I also really love purple, so we're going to give that a go. Now this path here, I think this path cost me about 30 quid, and it took me about an hour. All I did was lay some weed membrane down, lined it with bricks, and then chucked a couple of bags of gravel down. And it has served its purpose. Now the only thing I would say is, because it's on a little bit of a slope, it does tend to kind of shuffle that way. So what I do hope to do at some point, although it's not my priority, is make a mosaic path. Now I know a lovely lady who works at a swimming pool, and they like a swimming pool building company, and they very often give away broken tiles of all different colours. So the idea is to lay some concrete here and make some mosaic patterns with these tiles. Not really sure how I'm going to do it. I've never done it before, so I'm going to have to Google that. But yes, that is the idea, just to add a pop of colour to the garden, a little bit of whimsy. So yes, that is the idea, and I am sort of tempted to put a little chair kind of up that way, just so I can kind of climb through the roses and sit in the plants, I suppose. So I don't know whether that would work. Anyway, yeah, so this is a rose garden. It comes up absolutely beautiful. My dad bought me a fragrant cloud, which is his favourite rose and mine. It's a stunning smell, lovely dark red, and it reminds me of when I was younger and we had one in the garden. Yes, this is the loveliest part of the garden, I think. So this is the patio area, which I have filmed before, I believe. So it's not really too much of an update of the patio area. I've just added loads of like pots of bulbs ready for spring. I've put lots of wire and things over them because the squirrels are buggers and they keep eating my daffodils and my tulips. So yes, this area is beautiful in the summer. I've got the egg chair just behind me here, which has got a cover on, and these two chairs here, which we got from the recycle shop for about £8 each. Very rustic kind of conservatory furniture, I think they were. So yeah, it comes out absolutely lovely. I've got a lavatier in a pot, some honesty, a strawberry and cream hydrangea, which I plan to move actually because I think it's outgrown its space. Loads of nasturtium, dahlias, roses, loads of things. And I'm just going to show you the dahlias in a minute, which are absolutely beautiful this year. So again, this area cost us about £300 to do. It's quite a big space. Again, it was just a case of membraning it and graveling it and then adding pots and things. Yeah, this is a beautiful area to sit, especially in the evening. We can watch the bats go overhead and the stars are coming out, and yeah, it's just a really lovely, lovely area. So one of the things that I did do is I repurposed this old chest of drawers which was lying around our bedroom. I painted it with some shed paint and just added a mirror and some pots, really. That was just it. And we had some lovely herbs and things on there in the summer. I got some oregano up there. So yeah, it was just kind of what do I do with this cupboard? Let's stick it in the garden. I'm just going to show you my beautiful dahlias that are still going. They're absolutely stunning. I've got a cafe au lait, And I'm not sure what this purple one's called, but it's absolutely beautiful. But they are starting to get a bit of frostbite now, so I suspect they won't be here much longer. They were quite late coming out this year. So those are my little dahlias, and Kirk very kindly made me this bench here, just out of some old wood, and we painted it. The kids put the names on it and stuff, which is really cute. And we're going to put that in the front garden at some point.